So now I would like to introduce Russell Kennett, who's the manager of underground technology at Rio Tinto's Oyu Tolgoi mine. Hope I said that right. And he is also our co-lead for the underground working group. He'll review an update on the underground communications infrastructure project. Russell?
Yeah, thanks, Heather. I guess we've probably provided updates on this repeatedly over the years, so I won't go into exhaustive detail. The life cycle that they mentioned earlier shows where we are now with Underground Comms One is at the review and refresh stage, and some of the challenges there has been, I guess, starting with an existing document. We might have been easier to start from a fresh start rather than try and adapt it to the sort of identified target now. But generally speaking, we're going through it phase by phase. We've restructured to sort of cover full life cycle of communication system, whereas the initial one, the original version, was more targeted at some level of technical detail and sort of explanation of communication systems. We're now reframing a bit to a sort of target audience that's a little bit higher, with much more consideration of things you should be concerned about rather than technical detail. There's a lot of other resources available these days that cover a lot of the technical detail. So the intent is to pivot it towards more of a place to capture lessons learned and some new discussion, I guess, as well, in terms of best practice and how to best implement, maintain, operate, and refresh an underground comms system. So the current document status, I think we've been pretty much through the first few sections up to design. There's a bit of work going on at the moment, getting the right level, I think, in design based on that sort of technical detail comment. Trying to then move through into the installation, commissioning, and operation and maintenance commentary, and then that will probably bring some stuff back to design, because you've usually set yourself up for a few challenges if you've committed to things at design that are not easy to install and commission or maintain. And we're also getting into the disposal and refresh chapters as well. Disposal may be reasonably straightforward, but the refresh also has implications for design. So that's triggering a few interesting discussions in the workshops. I guess there's been a series of workshops in person and in virtual formats. We're kicking around some panel discussion plans as well, to try to sort of have a panel of experts sort of kick back and forwards a few. So we'll probably see some of them before, well, maybe next year now. I guess, Heather, we sort of lost our momentum a little bit to get those and had some of the traditional, format workshops instead. But the goal is still to sort of bring it back to, I think, still target was the end of the year, but we might be testing that now, because every time we get to a new chapter, it's actually quite positive in that we're uncovering new areas to discuss and to incorporate, that'll hopefully make the document more valuable. Currently, I think the latest interaction has been with some of the NIOSH team, so getting some linkages to the regulators or the industry bodies, and perhaps to academia a little bit too, in terms of making those links to the more technical documentation, possibly vendors as well, and to keep the GMG document sort of targeted at, written for, some people say mining managers, or study managers or engineers who are being tasked to work on these things in terms of scoping up and making some of these key decisions that then commit you to, good, bad, or ugly, sort of problems over the years of operating and then refreshing a system. And that sort of comes into full life cycle cost as well. So a little bit of a change from the original 3-part, maybe 4-part comms guideline from a few years ago. But I think it's positive overall. It's just been a little challenging to pivot the old document to the new, as opposed to start writing a new one fresh. So I think that's about it from me, really.
We did have a few other
Oh yeah, got another slide. Sorry.
That's okay. If you've covered it, that's okay.
I think I talked to that already a little bit.
I just didn't keep up. My apologies.
That's all right. I should have reviewed the slides beforehand. The I guess the call out, I suppose, to people in this group, there are areas where many of the people who are contributing are experts. I have certain experiences. Ron's got his mine templates. We've had sort of interesting input from various different regional miners and vendors, which has been useful because it does tend to vary a little bit based on your location around the world. There's a few specific patterns that vendors tend to sort of sell or support. So it would be still useful to get some of the traditional mining vendors to get involved and flesh out or make the case and how you design, implement, operate the communication systems based on their products. So there may become a bit more targeted reach out, I guess, because we have identified certain patterns that really only apply to one or two vendors. So we'll probably be targeting a few people in the industry who provide those types of products as we get towards the end of the document authoring, editing. Yeah, so December 2 and December 4 is the next workshops. I can't promise to commit anything on the Spanish one. But we did have some of the people, I think, who are going to be facilitating that for GMG, right, Heather? Involved
Yes.
earlier. So,
yes.
yeah.